Hi friends, I am George Selvakumar, a spiritual consultant having an experience of more than 40 years in search of truth. I would like to share my experience and understanding to all of you through a series of video postings under the title My Understanding of the Teachings, Ancient and Present. And this is first of its kind, and have titled this one as an attempt to understand the movement of the immovable mover. In 1637, Rene Descartes, who has considered as the father of modern philosophy, said, for defining a starting point for existence, I think, therefore I am. But the great Indian sage of our times lived from 1879 to 1950. Bhagavan Ramana Maharishi questioned, does one need thought to experience one's own being, one's own existence? That is, for the experiential existence of one's being, does one require thought? As we all know through science that there is a movement of protons, neutrons and electrons in animate and inanimate things, beings. Therefore, the speaker coins a saying that I move, therefore I exist. And the way in which the animate and inanimate beings move defines the very innate quality of its being. Even there is a kind of movement in a dead corpse as well, which is called the movement of decomposition. Even the very planet we all live, that is called Earth, which has a circumference of 38,000 kilometers, rotates itself at the speed of 3 lakhs kilometers per hour and covers a distance of 15 crore kilometers to revolve around the Sun, for which it takes 365 days. And that very Sun, along with its family of planets called the galaxy, moves around a kind of center which is called Vishnu Nabhi, the seat of the creative power, the Brahma, the universal magnetism. And one such movement of the Sun along with its galaxy consists of 4 yugas, namely Kreda Yuga, which comprises of 4,800 demigod years, Treda Yuga, which comprises of 3,600 demigod years, Dwapara Yuga, which consists of 2,400 demigod years, and Kali Yuga, which consists of 1,200 demigod years, all put together totaling 12,000 demigod years. And one demigod year is equal to 360 human years, the knowledge of which our modern science has not yet touched upon, but the same was narrated in the Vedic science of Vishnu Purana. And this creative power of Brahma regulates dharma, the mental virtue of the internal world, as referred in Srimad Bhagavatam and Law of Manu. Having said this much, let us come back to the movement of animate and inanimate beings. Since the inanimate was not endowed upon with the quality of life force, which is called Jivan in Sanskrit and Uyir in Tamil. The locomotive movement on its own is not there. So the inanimate cannot move themselves on their own, which somewhat puts themselves in a lower strata of existence only at that level. According to chaos theory, the butterfly effect, the inanimate also has its own role to play in the very existence of the universe as it is. Having placed the life force based on its movement over and beyond the inanimate, the living being moves around for its survival and sustenance through food and shelter, which became the basic need of living beings. We human beings are not different from other living beings who were in search of food and shelter. Maybe till we are seduced by the serpent power to eat the forbidden apple, a movement of which made us to touch upon a knowledge to see oneself as one is and found to be naked and had the urge to cover ourselves, moved one step ahead in the ladder of evolution and placed ourselves yet another step ahead of our fellow species of our times due to a movement called discernment, which gave birth to culture. Due to discernment, which is one kind of movement within oneself, every species has the innate quality to know what is good and what is bad to them. That is, when you put a sugar to an ant, it will come and get it, and if you put some pesticide, it will repel and run away from that. All other species living up to that level except man. Man has climbed yet another ladder in the process of evolution due to this higher quality of discernment. That is, he not only know what is good and bad to them, but also know what is good and bad to the others, due to which he steps into an area called law of karma. When he does something good to the other, it is termed as good karma, and when he does something bad to others, it is termed as bad karma. But both these karmas, whether good or bad, as per Vedas, are binding in nature. The good karma binds him with a golden shackle, and the bad karma binds him with an iron shackle. Whether it is a golden shackle or an iron shackle, he is imprisoned by his action. However, acting without these bindings are called equanimity or impartiality, which sets another movement in the process of evolution, which is called liberation from the bondage. And the need for this liberation was felt by humans whenever he feels that he is enshrined within the bondage. Having seen the nature, structure and quality of the very human life form itself, the ancient seers, sages, rishis and saints has drawn certain codes for humanity to be followed and lived, so that they can escape the cycle of karma and live in peace within oneself and with others as well. And these codes were given in the form of stories, parables, riddles with logic and reasoning, which formed a record of incidents or recorded incidents as Puranas, Idihasas, scriptures or Vedas and Agamas, which talks about yet another movement called creation and the creator. In order for the movement to take place, there ought to be energy. And the ancient seers saw various kinds of energy, such as magnet energy, heat energy, electrical energy, atomic energy, and light energy, which are inertly there in the very life force itself, which transmitted to the baby through the semen, which is nadam, that is sound, which represents the female sperm, sironidam, and vindu, the male sperm, which represents light. Thus, sound and light. The sound is a wave and the light is ray, which forms the symbol of lingam, as in the case of blade and chalice, which hexagon star in the Western mysticism, or a mandala symbol called Satkona Yantra found in the ancient South Indian temples. And the energy of this is of two kinds: potential energy, which represents Shiva, which is called Iruppu Nilai, and kinetic energy, which represents Shakti, which is called Iyangu Nilai. The very binary system invented by our Indian scholar Pingala around 5th to 2nd century BC is the universally acclaimed language even in the present day computers, which also being used as interstellar communication. This is also said to be the combination of symbol lingam. Shiva represents 0 and Shakti represents 1. However, when this holistic movement was disrupted due to some other movement, which is called self-centered movement of the humans, who were always thinking about themselves and not caring for others, the equilibrium, the balance was shifted, and yet another movement called deterioration or self-destruction sets in. Let us at this juncture look somewhat deep into the nature, the structure and quality of this very movement of self itself. Scientists have measured energy and have arrived at an equation E is equal to mc square. This is material energy, and biologists have also proved that life energy is anti-entropic, which means that while material energy dissipates itself, life energy does not. So this movement of anti-entropy is against the material flow of energy, which dissipates and ends in dead uniformity. Life energy does not move in the direction in which the entropic energy moves. The human being generally moves with entropic energy and therefore decays. Scientists have measured even the time span of this energy. The problem is therefore, how can man, being aware of this, be part of the movement of energy that is anti-entropic? Energy is timeless and is not to be measured. But our actions are measurable, and so we bring down this limitless energy to the narrow circle of the me, and having confined to the me, we then search for the immeasurable. The searching is part of positive action and therefore wastage of psychological energy. So there is a never-ending movement within the archives of the me. The me is nothing but thought, and that thought moves in a space it creates as it moves. If it does not move, there is no separate space where it can move. Therefore, there is non-movement or ending of movement. When that movement ends, there is another movement which is not the movement of thought as claimed by our great seers of Vedic times, which is the movement of the immovable mover. Every human being is wounded both psychologically and physically. Though the physical pain heals fast, the psychological pain remains hidden. The consequence of this psychological wound is to build a wall around oneself to resist further pain and so become fearful to withdraw into isolation. The wound has been caused by the image of the me with its limited energy. Anything that is limited can be hurt, but that which is whole is beyond the reach of thought. That which is not measurable can never be damaged, can never be corrupted. Now, how can this wound be wiped and further wounds not accumulated? How does one approach this problem? What is the state of one's mind when one faces this problem? So, one is very much involved in this. This involvement is a central factor which one must face, observe. Merely to have a desire to be free of one's past wound and hope never to be hurt again is a wastage of energy. Complete attention, the observation of this fact will not only tell the story of the wound itself, but this very attention dispels, wipes away the hurt, because when there is total attention, there is no forming of a center, forming of the me. It is only inattention that creates the center, the me. And when there is that attention, there is not a center which is reacting. So attention is this vast energy which can never be wounded or corrupted and which has no center as me. When there is no movement, there is tremendous focus of energy. So transformation is the understanding of movement and the ending of movement in the very brain cells themselves. So, in the movement of the immovable mover exist two opposite movements joining together and moving in unison, which is beautifully termed as oxymoron, like cold fire, bitter sweet, sound of silence, which the ancient seers saw that and ever since trying to communicate to mankind, and though it is beyond words and cannot be captured by the mind. I think they have succeeded in a manner in communicating to us through the Vedas and scriptures.